Hey, uh, somebody wrote me a question about food and how she felt she was using it badly and too much of it during this COVID-19 crisis. And then it came up in a client session. So when that happens, I always figure it's for everybody. Let's all sit with it together. So I'm going to give you a couple of general thoughts on presence and using this time to do whatever spiritual work you've got to do, which to me is the equivalent of just living your life and coming close to reality, to truth, to your own heart, to your own everything, and using whatever each moment brings to you to come closer to experience the intimacy of life, the intimacy possible between you, between you and now. Uh, this is beautiful. There's beautiful stuff possible here, and here is every here you will ever encounter or have ever encountered on your whole life's journey. So here we are. Let's use COVID-19 to get better in our dance with consciousness, to come closer, to really love it. So if you use food at this time in a way that you crave it and reach for it and eat things that you think you shouldn't eat, or you eat too much of it, or you eat at times when you should really be going to bed instead, or whatever it is that you do, I want to invite you to the possibility of witnessing that without judgment. Because if you judge it, it'll be much harder to extricate yourself. You'll have a whole layer of shame that you'll need to rake off before you can even get to what's up for you with this. And there's really no problem with a human being using food to numb, to shove something down, to feel like they can cope, to fill a moment, to respond to the anxiety coursing through their body, to try to make things settle or feel more solid. You know, there's all kinds of things we're trying to do when we use food that way, and none of it needs to be judged. It's been with humans probably for as long as they've been eating, I'm guessing. So here we are. So in the moment that you're eating, there are some strategies you can have. Let's play with them. One is that you can slow down the eating. Make it an exercise in presence. Actually go slowly so that you can taste it, so that you can feel the textures, so that you can chew it more. And make eating something that you're doing to actually nourish yourself. Have the consciousness of self-nourishing. Have the consciousness of doing something good for yourself. A vote for health. A vote that your little life today, right now, matters in the midst of a pandemic. And that self-care matters. And that showing up for yourself matters. So slow down. Eat slowly. And think of it this way. If you, let's say your brain needs to eat for maybe 10 minutes to feel satisfied that you've had a satisfying eating experience or gotten enough food, imagine how much food you can shovel in if you're eating really fast for 10 minutes. Whereas if you eat slowly for 10 minutes and actually chew and actually taste it and actually get the experience, well, you're going to eat less. So there's that, just miles per hour. Chews per minute. Okay, the next strategy is, if I can think of it, don't eat late at night. In the moment that you've like gotten through the day and you want to eat more, all you're doing is reaching for a strategy to get through the rest of the day. All you're doing is a tactic that revs you up instead of calms you down. And so what I want to invite you to is have a couple of concepts in place that you can reach for to help you be able to say to yourself in those moments, you know what, I'm not going to eat. If I want to eat that badly right now, I'll just go to bed. So there's that. So a concept you can reach for, intermittent fasting. I like the concept. I think it feels great to imagine that during the sleep hours, I'm getting maximum sleep and the deeper work of cell repair, organ repair, because my body's not being asked to do the grosser function of digestion. So if you actually eat earlier in the evening and then you're up for a few hours, that's when the main digestion happens. And then you get to just sleep, to actually get much more out of sleep, to let sleep also be nourishing and get the maximum reset from that. So for me, that's just a concept I can use that helps. That, yeah, I see that I'm craving food and I just tune into the craving. And by the way, if you tune into a craving and then you decide just to give yourself permission to eat, I just want to invite you to give yourself total permission. Don't be divided. Don't do it hating yourself. You might even dole out a portion to yourself instead of opening the potato chip bag when you might be vulnerable to carrying on and just eating nonstop. Something I think we all are familiar with, or most people. So give yourself permission if you have permission. But even if you do that, I invite you to do it consciously, to taste it, to feel it. There's a loop I want to close. Let's see. Let me find it. You could feel the craving and just witness that for a while, irregardless of whether you end up choosing to go with it or not. Just feel into the craving. I think it's interesting to ask myself, what am I reaching for? What is it that I want out of wanting this food? Maybe I just want it all to stop. Maybe I'm feeling anxious and I would actually prefer to sit with my anxiety or see what I'm thinking. What am I believing right now that makes me feel anxious? Maybe I'm bored. Maybe the evening didn't go the way I wanted it to, and putting food in my mouth that tastes good and is fun would jazz it up. So for me, I would rather in that moment accept the boredom, drop into the boredom, drop into the disappointment, get okay with that. Feel my oneness with all of humanity right now. Their boredom is part of the reality right now. Disappointments are a huge part of the reality right now. It's okay for us to reckon with it individually and collectively, and I want to reckon with my disappointments. So I can feel into a craving, and I can notice what it is I'm reaching for, and then I may or may not give myself permission to eat the food. But there's something gained from meeting myself for a moment, and then meeting myself still while I eat, or meeting myself while I carry on. The other day, my girlfriend was fixing up her room. She was rearranging stuff. It was total chaos. That thing where you take everything down and the books are off the shelf and everything's been dumped out, and the chaos before the new order. And this was something that just grabbed her, bit her in the butt, and she had to do it. And so she's doing that, and I'm sitting on the bed drawing stuff, just doodling and going, not the evening I had in mind. And I was craving something right away. It was I could picture this food that I knew about that was sitting in the other room, and it's just I could go get that and make everything okay, right? Except it wouldn't make everything okay. So I just dropped in. I just got conscious. I just got present. I noticed what I love about her, how funny I think she is, even in her all over the place ways. I know her Enneagram type, which is the personality typology system I'm into. She's that type, and I could just sit there and love her and just doodle. Just be a bored human being doodling and going, oh, look, there's my girlfriend, she's cute. And then I could say open, instead of shut down. And I could tune into the fact I was still grappling with, am I going to eat that thing or not? I just actually tuned into the fact that I ate a little extra at supper time because I liked the food, and it was yeah, let's have a little more of that. And I didn't want to go get more food, and it was getting late. So that was that thing with that, well, it's going to be over soon. I can get through this. So that's what I want to invite you to. Just bring consciousness. And as you do that, the next thing opens up. Maybe there's a gentle going to bed. Maybe stories start being told. That happened. Maybe laughter can come in. Any time that we're not requiring life to be what we want and trying to just jam it full with whatever feels better in the moment, not really feeling into what's being asked for or what's going on. I totally lost the beginning of my sentence, but you know what I'm saying. We can either miss the opportunity to come close to ourselves, to get more conscious, or we can just insist on whatever is frustrating, not cool, not to our liking, not what we want, and then so the food, if you just reach for the food unconsciously, you're just numbing it all down, right? You're just trying to fill in something that really can't be filled in, that food doesn't actually have the power to fix. And you know the joy is temporary, and you know that point where if you're not being conscious, two things could happen. One, you kind of miss eating because you're eating unconsciously. So then you keep eating because you're still looking for the experience that you're not showing up for. You may not even be tasting. You may be eating your favorite food and not tasting it. So it's like your brain has to keep eating to get the full experience. So there's that. Another thing that can happen is that you even notice the point where it passes over into an unpleasant experience. Like with sweet things, it's like this, it's actually past my threshold of comfortable sweetness, and it's starting to cloy and it feels bad. But now I'm kind of hating myself, and now whatever I'm shoving down actually is starting to feel worse. And now I'm going to go into punitive mode and make myself feel bad by carrying on the eating. And I know what it looks like later. I know how I'm going to talk to myself, or that I'm going to wake up feeling bad. Then I'm going to start the day, just begin the whole day with a sense of hating myself, being disappointed in myself, giving myself hell, instead of with a real night's rest, with the real reset sleep can provide. There's that all things new, all things possible thing that can come in. Okay, food. I don't want you to shove anything down, but if you do, will you stay with yourself instead of abandoning yourself? Whatever you choose to do, could you witness yourself doing it and actually get okay with it and actually get curious? See, if you're not judging something wacky you're doing, but you're still witnessing, and I always like to say, if you're going to witness at all, reach for the compassionate, dispassionate witness. The compassionate witness actually looks upon your own self tenderly. The dispassionate witness actually doesn't make up a shitty story. The dispassionate witness can be neutral. So you could actually watch yourself eating in a way that's wacky, that makes you feel bad, that makes you hate yourself, that makes your body change in ways you don't like. And you could witness it and kind of notice, what am I up to? What am I trying to do, and what am I actually doing? What do I like about doing this? Is there anything I like about doing this? What does it get me? What does it fail to get me that I'm trying to get? I like to call things like overeating fake self-care. Like you're actually trying to do, there's an innocence in it. You're actually trying to do something good for yourself, but it's not real. It's not real. So again, if you have food cravings, bring more consciousness, slow it down, taste the food, get the actual experience of presence. But presence, I always say, lets everything in the room be in the room. So also just get present to what you're trying to do with the food. Am I shoving something down? What was I feeling? What am I feeling? Are there better ways to meet that? Do I want to meet that consciously? If it's nighttime, I'm almost done with the day. Would I feel better if I just got through the rest of the day that there is to get through without adding on the burden of more calories, more to digest during the night, more for me to grapple with that I don't like about myself? What if I just let myself be bored the rest of the night? Or what if I took a breath and felt into the moment and actually found the thing I most want to do between now and bedtime? Or do I just want to go to bed now and actually drop in for a moment, actually be a body on the mattress, giving myself to gravity, letting myself lie in the arms of an angel is a way I like to think of it. Connect to the breath and let what I'm trying to shove down come. Maybe you fucking need to cry. Maybe you need to just lie there and notice you're okay right now. That right now, this now moment is really okay, and it doesn't need to be layered over with food or anything else. Okay, I love you. Love yourself. Notice when you're not. Bring more consciousness to every moment. COVID-19 is your chance to come closer to you, closer to the moment, closer to consciousness. Let your experience of food be conscious. And if you're judging yourself, get conscious to that. And that's the first thing to get rid of. There's nothing wacky you could do with food that hasn't been done by a million human beings, or that lots of people aren't doing right now while they get through this collective, tricky time. So let's get more conscious together. I nod. That made it real.